to spend hours and hours and hours with God and not with superficial people and superficial things. Go to the source. Go as far as you can into the core of the universe. And it's amazing what you will learn. And it's amazing what you will hear. First thing in the morning, go alone with God. Read your Bible. I would get that devotional from Radio Bible Class. But there are many devotionals, and I've never seen one I didn't like. But this one I use is so serviceable for me. It's the Radio Bible Class, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm sure it will get to them. And the devotional you want is Our Daily Bread, where it does a Bible page for you on the right hand and the meditation on it on the left hand. And then sing your hymn and say a prayer. You say, well, I don't know any hymns. Well, just go to Borders and buy a DVD of hymns or a CD of hymns or whatever. Glendora versus Savarino et al. In the Yonkers City Court. Case number 2008-541 in the appellate term of the Supreme Court of the State of New York. A complete hoax. I know. I was there 20 years. And I searched them thoroughly. And they ended up by losing everything. All the judges, the clerks, the cops, the lawyers. They lost everything. Why? They committed fraud. Repetitively. 1,000 times. Fraud cancels everything. So everything they did was a nullity. They lost. Glendora won. Well, truth, righteousness, and goodness won. So it says, pursuant to Rule 731.8a and 732.8a of the Supreme Court appellate term, if your appeal is not perfected by June the 19th, it will be dismissed on July the 15th for lack of prosecution. Or you people for lack of prosecuting justice and the law and the facts and the truth. You should be dismissed, and long before June the 19th. Any request for an enlargement of time. I don't think I'm going to answer you, Supreme Court. I've already told you. You've committed fraud, and you've nullified everything you've done. You've perjured your oath. And by the 14th Amendment, Section 3, you lose your job. In Section 4, you don't get paid any pension. We don't have to pay you because you committed fraud and you perjured your oath. And you violated the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution for the state of New York. I'll remind you of that again next month. Here is Joseph Cronin Jr. in Lindenhurst, Suffolk County, Long Island. And he writes me the nicest letters, and he monitors a chat with Glendora. He watches it Friday nights on the Nassau system. The Nassau system spills over into Suffolk at Huntington, Islip, and Babylon, and a few other. And so he watches it on 9 p.m. on the Woodbury Nassau system, and calls me up and tells me what number program it was, and tells me what it was about, and usually so kindly and enthusiastically endorses everything it says. And he sent me my second St. Joseph medal. And I love St. Joseph because he went out and he helped the people who was help of the helpless, Lord, abide with me. And this is my second St. Joseph's medal that he has sent me. Thank you, dear Joseph Cronin. Such a good man, such a good Christian. Abide with me, fast falls the evening tide, the darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, Lord, abide with me. Now, here's the contents of a chat with Glendora starting. I think we're up to the 9th mini DV. That means there's 18 programs already. And I want to show you Arnie's travel tapes to Norway this summer. It says here that you might be interested in hearing how much money Franklin and I spent since 1937, highest to lowest. I won't tell you all of the entries. I think there's about 60, but I'll tell you the most interesting ones. I think I can do it from memory. The most money we ever spent was for TV airtime. That was for our business, Glendora TV ads, when we used to help people advertise on TV. That airtime is the highest amount we expended, and that was $550,000. The next highest amount we expended since 1937 was rent, and that's $293,000. Rounded off to $300,000. The next highest was the withholding, the money that the government took out of our paychecks, illegally of course, because there is no income tax law. It was ratified, the bill was ratified by only 3 states, so it's a sham. So guess what that figure was? $101,000. That's the third highest expenditure. The fourth is telephone at $100,000. The fifth, excuse me, let me insert $159,000. It says for one time only. I don't know what that is. I'd have to go look it up. The next one was for groceries at $98,000. That's for 2 people and several cats and dogs. And the next one is car repair. Can you imagine that car repair gets into the top 6? Car repair? How much? $83,000. Next comes postage. Yes. $52,000. Next comes a chat with Glendora. $51,000. Next is I think it's gasoline at $44,000. And then comes gotta look it up, folks, sorry. Print, copying, $39,000. FICA, federal income tax, what? $38,000. Donations received. That's to to 501(c) non-profits, churches, and dogs and cats, and Humane Society, and all that. $33,000. Videotaping. $31,000. Office supplies. $30,000. Clothes. $27,000. How do yours compare to these? Gifts. $19,000. Household. $12,000. Newspapers. Franklin was an avid newspaper reader. $8,600. Cleaners. $7,300. Electric. About $13,000. And gas, house gas. Tolls. $4,800. Medical, $4,200. That's Band-Aids. That's the only medical bills we've ever had, Band-Aids. Dentist, $3,100. What did the judge say to the dentist? Do you swear to pull the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth? Parking, $2,800. Haba, house and beauty aids, mostly Pond's cold cream. $2,500. Bus fare, local bus fare, subway, taxis. $3,000. Well, 28, I guess. Those are the majors. Was that interesting? Send me yours. Oh, I bet you didn't keep them though. How do you keep these things? Well, you keep a diary. Mine is a mess, I'm ashamed to show it to you. Keep a diary, which is just a sheet of paper. And you write down the date. And you put down what came in, and from where, and then you put down what goes out. Okay, that's your diary, or your weekly. And at the end of the week, here's mine, it's a mess. Don't let irritate this mess. It's business and personal. One is business and one is personal. So here's the date, I think, and then here's what it was for, where it came from, and this is the amount. And then at the end of the week, you put it over under the sheet where everything's owned, where it says postage, where it says gasoline, where it says groceries. So you put every entry into the column. That's the end of the week going into the month. At the end of the month, you add up the columns, and then you take these columns over and you put them on the year sheet. At the end of the year, what do you do, folks? You add up the years. You add up how much you spent for the whole year for groceries, how much you spent for car repair. And then what do? Is it over? Well, just about. Then you take all of those figures for the end of the year, and you add them to the total up through the last year. And that's how you know how much you spent. That's how you know that you spent $83,000 on car repair in your whole married life. You remember what a consummate job that Mary Garofalo did on opening the roof and looking in at the corruption, depravity in the state courts on guardianship. There's so many old people today with money, and they find an old person with money, and they want that money. So they declare the person incompetent, and then they appoint a friend of theirs as a guardian, and the friend of theirs goes out and gets all that money and divvies it around to the judges, the lawyers, the clerks, the gang, the ring. Remember how she did such an excellent job exposing that with Esther Barron? And that cheater guardian of hers, named Sam Rousman, was so disgraced that he ran away and resigned. And then Mary Garofalo, discovered another one just like it in New Haven, Connecticut. And right after she exposed him, he resigned. And she had these hair-raising reports on Fox News, Channel 5, New York. And she did such an excellent job of telling the truth and exposing it, that I believe, on information and belief, that Judith Kay, the Chief Judge of the State of New York, told the Nassau Supreme Court, you could, and you get rid of Rousman as a guardian, and you let Esther's son and daughter be her guardian, and leave the money, a little bit of money that's left. It looks to me that they sold something like $200,000 from Esther. The one in New Haven, it was more like $1 million. And that, of course, is peanuts to them. And Mary Garofalo did such a good job, and I showed you her report, that Fox National, they're not really a network, they just have TV stations in certain big markets. And they did it nationally in these big markets and exposed the crime that goes into, or comes out of, the guardianship courts, or conservatorships they're called also. And such as his telephone call that came in, just as crooked, folks, is the surrogate church court, where they find out these huge estates that are left, and they make sure that the person to whom it left never gets a cent. They take every bit of it, in lawyers' fees and court fees, and handing it over to the judge who rules for the crooks. The judge may or may not want to be dishonest, but he has to be because he's in the ring. And if you're not dishonest in the courts, you don't last. You're out. You better do it, or else. Well, isn't that something? Wasn't she terrific? She's my heroine, Mary Garofalo. Guess what? Fox News let her go. Fox News, Channel 5, New York, let her go within a week or two after those great reports. You tell me what you think happened. This is what I think happened. That ring and these guardianships are so lucrative for them. They could not let go that money. It's just so big and so lucrative. And I've told you many times that it's a ring. And this ring tells the judges what to do. You get that money or else. That's your job. You get that money or else, or you're not coming back. So you see, the tentacles are in there. So, inextricably, that they can't even free themselves, even if they want. Can you imagine that? After Mary Garofalo presented truth, this gang of crooks went to Fox, went to somebody, and said, "We want revenge. You fire Mary Garofalo." Or, here's so much for fire. We don't want to be exposed any longer, and we don't want anyone messing with our ring, with our billions of dollars that we're getting out of these poor people. How are we doing on time? It's 25 minutes past 6, and we let 6:15 go by without rejoicing. Okay, 53 minutes. Well, I'm going to rejoice as to the magnitude of the bravery and courage and talent of Mary Garofalo. You just wait, Mary. I know it's a tough time for you right now, but something's going to come up, and you will realize that this is one of the best things that ever happened to you. Even though it's a double cross by Channel 5, Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, all of you. You did a 100% job, Mary Garofalo. Here's a letter from Joseph Cronin from Lindenhurst, Long Island. I have here a list of some of the bad judges. Now, I have come across maybe 300 crooks, cheaters, liars, fraud committing, evil-doing judges in all levels of courts, the village courts, the town courts, the city courts, the state courts, the appeals courts of the states, the highest courts of the states, for instance, the New York State Supreme Court, totally corrupt. And then we go on to the federal courts, the district courts, and the appeals court. The depravity is, it just weakens you. And the Supreme Court of the United States, one of the worst. Cheat, lie, steal, throw away records, lose them when they tell the truth about judges and about the courts of the United States. Well, here's some of the bad judges. Colabella, Ingracia, Nicolai, Bryant, Azrak, Lisa Smith, Gomez, Lisi, Almond, he's a nut, Sotomayor, Ross, that would be the Eastern District of New York, Corman, another, Fox, I hope they didn't remove his contract, he was a magistrate, John Walker, I kind of think he's out of the Second Circuit, Calabrese is still there, I think. Oh, McCasey, Schwartz, Winter, Griesa, Hummel, Christian Hummel, one of the most unchristian people I ever met. Friedman, Robert Friedman. Some of these judges are so bad I got them listed twice. Barrington D. Parker, McAvoy, Raji, Hall, Hell, can't read my writing. Rudolph, Angiolillo, Tannenbaum, McAvoy, Nichols, Lane, Foch, no good wood in the Yonkers Court. Brian Hansberry, Eric Ross, Raymond Mordew in the District Court of the United States at Syracuse. Trees. There's a whole gang of them. No Capiz Trees gang. And that's just some of them. I'll put it over here. Maybe we'll put their names on the TV. What I like, first of all, to see every one of them find their 100% relationship with God. What they're looking for all of their lives is honor, prestige, money, power. The harder they look, the more it eschews them. And what do they end up with? Contempt. When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my greatest gain I count as loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. I told my people at the Reformed Church, well, first of all, the St. Luke's Lutheran Church had Tuesday night suppers free, and they were elegant. Hannaford's gave us some much expensive food and luxurious food. And so we had very nice suppers. And they stopped. January, February, March, they had them. And the last one was the last Tuesday of March. And it left a void. It left a void for these people. I don't know if they're really lower income or what. They seem pretty well off to me. But it left a great void to them. Go home and look at the four walls. They liked the companionship also. It really did, and I heard them bemoan it, several of them. Now, they used to have up to 105 people come to those suppers. And I said to my people at my church, I said, I said, I'm not going to do this, I'm just thinking about it. Why don't I have those people come to the Reformed Church every Tuesday, their lonesome night, and at 4:30 in the afternoon, and we'll play them the Alpha course. The course is superb at helping. I don't want you to take the Alpha course. At improving your relationship with God. And play them the Alpha course video, which is about 45 minutes. And then giving them a supper. And I said, this is the first supper I want. It's a casserole. It's 2 cans of tomato soup. This would be, for a normal serving, 4 people. 2 cans of green beans, drained, cut green beans. A teaspoon of clove. And my vegetarian hamburgers, which taste just like everybody else's hamburgers. And it's a casserole, and then you top it with mashed potato. And I asked Hattie Seeger if she would cook it. And she said yes, she would. So I told this to the people at Reformed Church, and they all said, oh, this is a good ministry. This is a very good ministry. And one of them suggested that an elder of the church should be there to help. And I'm not thinking of all 105 of these people coming. I'm just thinking of 5 or 6. Well, I haven't decided to do it as of yet.